Good morning guys, and welcome back to a very nice tranquil morning down at the beach. And I've come out this morning. I've got to go to work at 9 o'clock, but it's quite nice this time of year because the sun comes up at about 7:40, so I can get out, get some content, shoot some images and get to work still in time. You hear those seagulls? Can't quite see them, but we've got a beautiful sky. Recently, the forecast has not been very good at all. It's been, well, the forecast has been decent, but the weather apps have been lying, basically. And whatever you think is going to be a decent sunrise or have some high cloud and some colour turns out to be absolutely nothing. And this morning, it's kind of one of those situations again. Although we've got some beautiful colour, you can't quite see because it's all blown out, but it's lovely and red at the moment. There's this huge bank of cloud here, and it's just moving in from the side and just going over the top of the sunrise. So I've been shooting now for about maybe 10 minutes or so, trying to get some images in the bag, just in case it goes in front of the sunrise. And it is moving that way, but it's also got potential to light up. The side of the clouds are catching. So I've already taken an image. I'm not sure if I'll post it. If I do, I'll pop up on screen now. I kind of like this 16:9 kind of look to this image. Nice letterbox crop and nice moody red sky in the background. But it doesn't really show off this area very much, I don't think. I think the little bit on the right hand side of the rocks is a little bit distracting, and I wanted to change the composition quite quickly, and utilising this cloud now that's moving in from the side like I just showed you. I framed up a portrait orientation image using this thing, whatever it is, I don't know what they're called, and the tail end of the rocks, and using this cloud to kind of frame the side of the image. And stupidly I forgot my L bracket, so I have to lean the camera over this morning on another plate, but I'm going to rattle off some shots and see how this light progresses, and hopefully we can get a decent image here. Hopefully. So it's proving quite hard work actually without my L bracket. Stupidly left it on the side yesterday when I was importing some other pictures onto the computer, and didn't put it back in my bag and back on my camera like I normally do, and it's actually proving really difficult this morning, especially in a portrait orientation, and this camera is quite heavy, so it is starting to creep, so I'm having to really tighten down the ball head just to make sure that it doesn't shift. I really like these fine art minimalistic shots is what I call them, because when you can smooth the water out like this, it just gives an effect that you can't actually see with your eye, and it gives a really pleasing effect, and people like that sort of stuff, and people like those sort of images where the water is smoothed out and looks really silky and nice. And I haven't got any NDs on at the moment. I'm just trying to perfect the composition because I'm just moving things around because some things don't quite work, just to make sure everything kind of lines up and gets in the right place. As expected, this cloud is starting to creep across my frame more and more. So let's talk about the minimalistic side of things. Right now I've got a 3-stop soft grad in on the sky, and that's just bringing a bit more colour out. A touch of polarisation, although I am looking directly towards, well, maybe just off towards the sun, so I'm getting a little bit of polarisation on the sea, but not much, but it's just enough to dampen down the brightness of it and let me cut through a bit more. And f16 and 60 seconds, 2-second timers, and as it gets brighter I will plug in a shutter release and possibly drop in a 6-stop ND to stretch out that time even more if I want it more silky and more cloud movement and more water movement. But I'll pop one of these up on screen for you, and you can tell me what you think down in the comments, but I think it's going to be a decent image, quite a nice image. A bit different for me too, which is nice. So 2-second timers as always. and then grab the shot. So as this sunrise goes on and I'm changing around compositions and moving about a little bit, I'm actually starting to favour this cloud on the left hand side that's just coming into frame, because it actually balances the whole scene. And it's hard to look for things like this, but when they're there, they're really obvious and prominent, and you should shoot them. So for example, here we've got a big pile of rocks and this stick thing to warm boats. I don't know what they're called, just let me know down in the comments. On the right hand side of the frame, and then this big empty space on the left hand side where it kind of just swoops around and there's just nothing but sea, and then there's this huge bank of cloud up here on the left hand side, and it really balances the scene, because before it's feeling very right hand side heavy because you've got all of these rocks and this darker content over the right hand side of the frame, and then all of a sudden you've got this big cloud that's kind of just swooping over the top of the frame, and it really balances the whole scene. And like I said, you don't really look out for it, but when it's there you kind of notice it, and that really complements the composition. So I like that first image, or the second image rather. We're getting a bit more colour now. Change the composition, and like I said, I've got big empty space on the left here. Still got that groin thing on the right hand side of the frame, and this big old bank of cloud up there on the left, but it's just starting to catch a little bit of light as well, so it's not looking as bad as it was earlier on, which is nice. But I've got a nice composition set up now, and it would be nice to have some really nice light up there, although right now we do have some good light. So I'm going to shoot this composition now for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, and hopefully I can get a decent shot with some really nice light as the sun starts to come up, and it's just starting to come up now. So my fingers are crossed, and yeah, hopefully I can grab a decent image. So I think it's time to pack up now. Looking towards the west, there is some amazing cloud over there, and it's all being lit up bright pink right now because of the sun rising over there. Unfortunately I don't have a composition looking that way. It's just boats and the marina and the harbour, so I'm not going to be able to get that one, but pretty decent morning so far. It's nice to shoot that minimalistic long exposure style of photography. I really like it, I favour it, and yeah, not a bad morning. It's nice to have some colour for once. It's just been abysmal for the last maybe 3 weeks or so. I'm having a little problem with my drone as well. You'll notice there's been no drone footage. I have tried, but I can't get it to calibrate. So for some reason, I don't know why, so maybe one of you guys out there know why I can't calibrate my drone. But I'm going to end this one here, get back to the car because I've got to go to work, unfortunately. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do consider clicking subscribe below. Give us a like, tell us what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.